Goalkeeper movement, as we know, was probably the biggest change or one of the biggest changes in the last gameplay update. And since our last video, I'd say probably the biggest talking point gameplay-wise since then has been actually goalkeeper movement related. And there are people that really want it back or say that the change was not necessary and now the skill gap is less now that goalkeeper movement is gone or at least massively nerfed. And you guys know my thoughts on the whole thing. If you guys don't, well, we'll talk about that when we get there. There is a larger than you think amount of people that want goalkeeper movement back, which I am surprised by. I got to admit, I definitely am surprised by, but we're going to talk about that. It's Claudia PINA Day, so, you know, we've been preparing for that for a while now. There's not a whole lot to get into with that, but today is the day that she drops, and that forehead is going to be all over your screen approximately 35 minutes after content today, so just be ready for that. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the top of the description. They're the safest and the cheapest option, and you can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. We got some other miscellaneous tidbits of information and stuff like that to get into today. So, of course, as always, I love you. Thank you all for watching and being here. Do you like complaining about FIFA? Well, you've come to the right place. Subscribe to the channel. We do, of course, attempt to be non-biased here and praise EA at times when we think that they deserve it, for sure, because you got to do that. Just right now with the Snora Boslipo promo that we talked about yesterday, it's hard to do that right now with the way this game has been trending and changing over the last few, I guess, really about month, I would say. But anyway, okay, let's get into the content first of all here. We got the base icon upgrade back again, and that was kind of the big highlight of content. And I think Nepenthes today had a tweet that did pretty good numbers that I won't show you, but basically was like, how are we supposed to get the fodder for this kind of stuff to even reasonably do a few of these gamble SBCs without going to the store? There really isn't a great way, but that's how the business model is set up, right? So it's going to be directing you towards that way because fuck you, give me money as always. Should everybody be able to do every piece of content that ever comes out immediately? Probably not, but at the same time, should there be a balance? Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. And it's the same typical money grabbing, complaining stuff that we usually do when we talk about the menu content. But yeah, I do have an announcement though that we will be starting to save packs now. We every single year do a Team of the Year giant pack opening for the full release. Pack save begins now. We're going to be saving up every pack past a certain point. Like in marquee matchups here, we'll probably save everything like small, rare, golden up, probably, I would say, with the packs, or maybe small prime we'll save. I don't know. If they're tradable, maybe we'll save, but point is here, the pack save begins today. That will be back again. I think that's gonna be our third straight, I want to say, Team of the Year pack opening. I think it's a third straight, and I think we've gotten pretty lucky each year, I want to say, in the other two, or maybe this is the fourth year. I don't remember, actually. If you're an OG, let me know. I think it's the third year, but I think we got KDB, and then last year we got Team of the Year Icon Miyama, was it? Man, I forgot actually what I got. Was it Cafu Team of the Year icon? I don't remember what I got. Honestly, I don't know how I forgot that. But we got something pretty good last year, if I remember right. But anyway, we're starting to save right now. Bruiser Plus, by the way, expires today at content time. So if you have that still in your Evo section, make sure you guys go and do that. But all right, let's go talk about the goalkeeper movement, because there are actually more people than you think that want this back, and just back to the level that it was previously. Not, you know, crazy buffed or anything, just back to the level that it was previously. And their argument here is, well, we'll get into that in one sec. I won't get ahead of myself. The biggest tweet of the day was this from Fud Sheriff, and it was bring back goalkeeper movement, is what he said. Basically, it had, you know, 2,000+ likes. There were a lot of replies here of people saying like, no, you're crazy. So it wasn't like it was some sort of consensus opinion at all. I'd even argue it's a pretty vocal minority actually, but there's a lot of people that want this back to what it was just a week ago. And the reason for that is that they think it ups the skill gap basically. And right now games are going just a little too crazy with the score, kind of like previously they were 2 months ago before the game was patched to shit. We have this tweet from Mark Futt Trader here. Goalkeeper movement was not the issue. This is what happens when you take a skill out of the game. Higher scoring games, less saves, closer games, pure luck if a shot goes in or not, he says. Everyone crying about goalkeeper movement being an issue, I can guarantee is a low level player. It's annoying, yes, when you miss, but it can also save you multiple times. There's times I move my goalkeeper and get cooked, but guess what? That's on me because I controlled them. Now it is just pure luck, he says. says. In layman's terms, this paragraph explains, I guess, what they don't like about it. It's that it's another skill that they've removed. The game is becoming oversimplified to where you just have to pass and shoot. And, you know, you probably assume where I'm going to go with this here if you've been watching the videos for quite some time now. I personally don't think that goalkeeper movement is a mechanic that is in any way fun, is in any way rewarding to use. Could you argue that there is an art to it, I guess, and an art in getting in somebody's head while moving it? You probably could argue that, I would say, but I am just like, this to me is nonsense. I mean, it's not complete nonsense, but it's bordering on nonsense. I feel like I could literally grant you all of this, right? I could grant you that maybe higher scoring games, less saves, closer games, and apparently pure luck if a shot goes in or not. I could even grant you all of that, which I don't agree with, but I could still do that. And still there's an argument to be made that this is the right decision, because is the mechanic fun? Is goalkeeper movement fun? Do you like moving the keeper? Do you wish it was there and you have fun doing it when you stop a goal? I think what's almost more important than anything is the fun aspect to any mechanic they add. If it's not fun or rewarding at all, then don't add it. I don't give a fuck what it is. If it's in the game and it's more of an annoyance than anything, even if it can take, if I granted you it takes a skill gap, if I granted you that and it's an annoying mechanic, then take it out to me. And that's like my most generous way of looking at it, is that right there. The other way of looking at this is like, hey, maybe defend better to the point where they don't get in that position in the first place. Anybody could just argue back to this and go, hey, bro, just defend better. If somebody earns a one-on-one with the keeper with the way the defensive AI is in this game, then they deserve that. Even if finishing is mad easy like it is right now, like you're saying here, there's less saves. I don't know about the pure luck part, but, you know, I don't know. Trying to be as charitable as I can be here. Like, I don't understand how we got to the point where like, hey, this is actually a skillful mechanic, and then what's next? They're gonna take away all this stuff next, and then that one's next. If that happens, then sure, maybe this was the beginning of something. I don't know, sure. But also, your favorite game probably didn't have half the mechanics this game does. I can almost guarantee you that. It's all about the fun. Who gives a shit if the mechanic is cheese if it's in the game still? I don't think that that should matter at all. And that's even me granting you the best, most generous, charitable position of like, yeah, it's actually a skillful mechanic. But to me, with how ridiculous offensive AI is in this game, if you get yourself in a one-on-one, it should be pretty easy, honestly. I shouldn't have to worry about the keeper moving added onto all of this stuff. If people were getting 45 chances a game, then sure, add a mechanic like that to just try and prevent some stuff. The fact that there are so many different things going against you to try and prevent attacking being good, that one thing now goes against that, it's like, oh my god, what are we doing? We're gonna take away all of the skill in this game by next year. It's like, I think to me that's pretty overboard with all of this stuff. Now, maybe, of course, you know, come next year's time, if they take away like 5 different mechanics that we actually, maybe some of them we like, and apparently the game gets even less skillful because of that, then sure, I'm willing to say that I'm wrong about this. All the skill gap does here is just move, right? Now it's more important to defend because you don't have that last bailout, that last mechanic that can save you, right? You don't have that anymore. So the skill gap now just transitions into something else. But yeah, that was a big talking point today on Twitter. Like the 4 or 5 most engaged with tweets today were about goalkeeper movement. And just let me know what you guys think in the comments. Obviously, if you are for and pro goalkeeper movement, leave a comment as to why down below. I would like to hear your reasoning behind it. And the only real like leak we've got right now is the Claudia PINA that we'll talk about more when we get to the market part of the video, so we won't really bother too much with that. There are still a few other SBCs that we're waiting on from yesterday, and there are a couple player of the month nominees now that go and talk about, but we'll highlight a couple of the most interesting tweets that popped up on my timeline today about FIFA. And here's one of them I thought was interesting too. So here's peak nostalgia. These two were 4 years ago. It's a tall, it's Renato Sanchez. These are Black Friday cards, and the 84 and 85 rated with some decent stats, but obviously like Renato Sanchez here. I remember us at the time thinking like, oh my god, that is one of the best 84 rated cards you've ever seen, right? Now 84 rated cards look like that all the time. And 85 at tall, if you saw this card, you'd say, wow, that's a terrible 85 rated card, but back then that was like normal. And Cynical Fud up here talks about how these were OP Black Friday cards. Look at the ratings, look how smooth the power curve was back then, and they say slow curve in FC26. Memory is EA's worst enemy, which I don't really understand that part, but he's basically saying that you know, the EA set a slower power curve this year, and it is slower, but it's not at all back to what we used to have. But the problem is I do think we can't go back to this anymore without, I think, EA acknowledging that that would be a really big risk to do that, and they'd worry that people got bored with the game very quickly if they did that. But really, that is, to me, one of the lesser reasons as to why. To me, I think they'd be willing to take that risk. The biggest reason they can't do this is because of store packs. The store packs were not like this 4 years ago. You pretty much can't have store packs be the way they are right now and have a power curve that is like this. You pretty much, like, they can't go hand in hand. There's pretty much a certain speed that it, like, has to go, almost, for the most part, if the store packs are going to stay as good as they are. And of course, EA could change that, but I mean, we know they're not going to. And also, one big part of this too, I do think, is evolutions. I think evolutions being one of the better features in the game, it does mess with the market, it messes with the power curve, but we all like that. We don't like the power curve moving too quickly, and it's like, it's hard to balance that. That's the one part I do sympathize with EA with on this, is that evolutions plus the power curve is very difficult to manage, and they tried to do that, and people didn't like that because evolutions were not very good. Now, of course, if the gameplay was like fun and shit, this wouldn't matter as much either, and you could make the power curve way slower with actually worse store packs too, and people would still spend a lot of money on them because they'd still be relatively good to where we are. It's all relative, but also the gameplay being good or engaging, or whatever you want to say, would just benefit every aspect of the game, and people wouldn't care as much about the store packs being the way they are, and they wouldn't care as much about the power curve if the gameplay itself was just rawly fun, if that makes sense. But yeah, the biggest problem with this is that they just can't go back. The store packs ruin this. The store packs, the evolutions, which we do love, did play a part in this too. And also, I think playstyles were a way for them to try and help with this too. Like, they could add playstyles instead of stats, and that will help. But now most people don't really like playstyles, it seems like. Maybe that's more of a hardcore player thing and a casual player thing. I don't know, but it seems right now that EA is in a tough spot in a lot of areas. A lot of it is their doing. Some of it is stuff that is just hard to do, that anybody making a game like this would struggle with, but some stuff really is them shooting themselves in the foot constantly, and that's the reason this game has gone down in numbers year over year. Why is that? I think EA chalk it up sometimes to like, oh, you know, the game's just getting older. It's been this popular now for like 12, 13 years, and just going to be getting lower and lower players probably, and that's normal. Instead of looking at this like, man, what the fuck did we do? I have no idea if that's true. That's just me guessing. But also this part, I do have a conspiracy. The Brazilian League was like confirmed by real legit sources to basically be in the game next year in this summer. I do wonder if Bora Bonito, they planned this when they thought they were going to get the Brazilian League license. Is there a chance for that? Maybe it would make more sense to celebrate this kind of thing with a Brazilian League promo. I know it's not Brazil exclusive, but I thought about that right away. I'm like, I wonder if there's a little conspiracy behind that as to them thinking they were going to get this license and ended up not getting it. It seems like it might have been a last minute pullback if the rumors were true. Don't know that. Next up, Serie A Player of the Month. It could be Jamie Vardy. The goal tally, flashbang warning, once again, as always, with the FIFA U Team website. Big old flashbang warning. You got 2 seconds. The goals tally does not really suggest Vardy has a great chance. Look at the Player of the Month tracker here and go to the goals and assists tally. Jamie Vardy, 3 goals, but 1 win, no draw, 3 losses there. And you got some players like Lautaro Martinez, 3 wins, 3 goals. David Neres, 2 wins, 3 goals. Big Mike's got 3 clean sheets with 3 wins too. So I don't think it'll be Vardy unless it's like real like nostalgia tax, which I'm all for. I love Jamie Vardy, but I doubt it. And League and Player of the Month nominees up here too. We also have, it's probably going to be a Thauvin, Rongier, toss up between those two there. And yes, today is a day. It's Claudia Pina Day, right? And the card itself, we know what it looks like if you guys haven't seen it. She's got finesse shot plus 80 pace, 87 shot, 85 passing, and 88 dribbling. The rumored price for her is like 350K. I think FUT Police League said that a while ago, so that definitely could change. But the rumored price isn't like some super cheap price. And because of that, I actually don't think the market's going to do much here. I don't think it's going to be like super affected by this SBC at all because, oh my God, is that Omar Al Soma? He's back. Oh my God. Yeah, basically the only way the market really takes a hit from Claudia Pina today is if she's like 150K or less, and then it's like, oh my God, well, wingers and cams probably get hit pretty hard. But with the rumored price right now, I wouldn't worry too much about almost anything. Even like Barcelona players themselves, I wouldn't worry about in terms of investing or selling, because like link investments too, maybe a link investment like Gold Bonmati goes up for a couple days, but I even then I doubt that. That would have to be a cheap SBC for that to be the case, and I don't think this is going to be. same with fodder here too. It's pretty much exactly what we saw yesterday, and that was already down a little bit from the previous couple of days. I'm not buying fodder prior to this. The point is here, I'm probably doing nothing with this PINA SBC. It's going to come out, be very expensive. It'll be completed a decent amount, but it's probably not going to be mind-blowing. If you're on Twitter, keep an eye out in case we get like a leak again here where it's like, oh, her price is actually 130K, but it's not going to happen, right? But okay, let's read some of your comments. Now we've got Abe Ben. 3 weeks ago, I convinced myself that Evos are the only way to go for FC26. If your aim is having fun, obviously. Man, was I wrong. The gameplay is just way too heavy. Down here, he's basically like, do yourself a favor and take it easy on yourselves. It's really not worth your energy. And this is a totally like, listen, this game for some of you is not going to be worth your energy, and you shouldn't play it. You're going to be hating yourself when you lose games and you're just losing your mind all the time. Like, that's not good. But there are ways to have fun with this game still. Despite me like shitting on the game almost on a daily basis, you can still make your own fun out of it. It just sucks that you have to do that, and it's not as inherent as it should be. At the same time, we're kind of stuck when it comes to football games with what we've got here. So it's like, okay, well, I love football. How do I make the most out of this game? And there are some fun things to be had with this. Like, there are. But that's why I say here, like, you just got to find that. And if you can't find that, you can't find it. And that's totally fine. There's probably a ton of other games where you can find that. But if you can't find that, like, one thing that you enjoy, just play with that and don't worry about the rewards you're getting and the wins and losses all the time. Yeah, try to win, but don't ruin yourself over it. Just take it easy on yourselves like you're saying here, right? And we got Z-Bites here saying, I like Bora Bonito a lot. I think any promo where they release this many elite cards with great playstyles we should be excited about. Also, the game requires good dribbling, and they release a good dribbling promo where everyone gets 5-star skills. And I do think that's a take that is worth talking about. Like, that is true. You do need good dribbling in this game, and this promo does have great dribbling cards. I just think a lot of the times, yeah, it depends on what you find fun in a promo. If you have fun trying different cards out that have good skills, good dribbling, and you try out different cards every day, maybe this promo has been fun for you, right? That could be. I just think that if you're somebody who's like looking for that thing that's going to get you with said promo, like that's the cool thing about this one. It's like, is that really there? I don't think so. And most of the time we're looking for it in the menus, right? Because we want to have the menu content be good, at least if the gameplay we don't really like very much. And if the menu content's not great and the gameplay also not great, then you're just kind of stuck with a not great game. At least there's something when content's good. But if it's not, then you're kind of stuck. And I do think Brian Carrillo here talking about all these patches, it is probably fair that we can't keep playing a new game every 3 weeks. And I think the issue with that is like, okay, at the start of the game, if there are issues, we need patches to a certain degree, like kickoff, right? That will needed a patch. And when cards get better, we'll notice certain things. And it's like, how do you balance that aspect? And who do I listen to? And I make changes. Who do I not listen to? Because for example, this defending change, like there were a good amount of people that wanted that change. It wasn't like it was nobody. It wasn't like it was a minority opinion. That was not consensus. But it was pretty split on like, hey, defending is like way too hard, and defending is in need of some change to make it a little bit easier. And then we get that, and a lot of us then complain like, oh, you know, the game keeps changing. Now defending is really good. Some people maybe like that, but I think most people who wanted that patch now looking back on it are kind of like, maybe that wasn't the best idea. And I think a big part of that too, that sometimes EA forgets, is like the more that we play the game, the more we'll find out about it. And if there are some people, like if it's even like close to 50-50 that say this game's actually pretty good, one of the better ones in previous years, that's already such a step in the right direction compared to the last like 3 years that okay, let's keep this and see in a month's time if that's still the general consensus. Then maybe we'll change something. Instead, it's like they tried to micromanage every single opinion and change certain things when the gameplay was seemingly more positive than previous years. We ended up here. I'm not even saying that if I was in control of that, I wouldn't have done something similar. Maybe I would have. Maybe we would have actually listened to the casuals more than we think we would have. Maybe they had underlying metrics that say, man, the casuals are leaving, we have to change this. I don't know, but what we do know now is that we shouldn't have done as much as we did, right? And I think I'm hoping EA talk about that one day and say, okay, we're gonna try and make defending a bit easier, and we're not gonna touch much. But I guess now it's a little different because, you know, where stats are getting more towards that low 90s, getting towards mid 90s, there's not as much room to grow. The biggest room to grow to see what the game is like is those first 3-4 weeks when you go from like the low 80s to the high 80s to low 90s. Like that happens in like a month stretch, and we add a playstyle plus, and that's a big piece of it too. And then we can see kind of like what the game is like. And I think we just changed too much too soon. But guys, that's it for me. I love you. Thank you all for watching me today. Appreciate you all so much. And I will see you guys. Peace.